All hail the burrito lord!
Hey, what's up my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class, Megatron. So here we are, and there he is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging right up front. Here we have a lovely image of the Megs in his robot mode and his alt mode Transformers from the Transformers the movie. Megatron. On this side we just have the rest of that picture there. He is a leader class A leader. On this side we have Megs again, Studio Series, bloody bloody. Up top the Transformers the movie, Megatron on the bottom, words, things, barcodes on the back of the box. You have your obligatory product shots. You have a lovely little screenshot there from the movie, and you have your little one-sentence read-up. If you want to read it in multiple languages, hooray for languages. And that's basically it for the packaging. And moving right along, here we have Studio Series Megatron, a figure that I have been very much looking forward to, and a very controversial figure as well. But yeah, here he is in his robot mode. He is packed in robot mode, and obviously this is Megatron, sort of how he appears in the 1986 The Transformers the movie. And yeah, again, here he is in his robot mode, and he looks gorgeous in bot mode, in my opinion. A good-looking Megs. I have little nitpicks, but all in all, though, I think he looks fantastic. Just good and Megsy. But let's get in close so we can take a look, not at that Mega Crotch, Mega Noggin. Whoop, there it is. And a lovely head sculpt there, just nice and Megsy. Yeah. Nice head sculpt there, just up the count symbol, front and center. I don't think that's supposed to be there. Just some little, I think that's just some little paint blemishes, but that's fine. It gives some characters, battle damage, that's all. But we have the red and blue and yellow there on the abs, the red there on the sides, got the little red biceps. There's some nice details. Going down the arms, got the big old fusion cannon here. Now, my qualm with the fusion cannon is this section here should not be longer than this section. Like, it should be at least bare minimum kind of equal length. I think that what was supposed to happen, you kind of see from the molding here, I think what was supposed to happen was maybe this side was supposed to maybe compress in, or maybe all of this was supposed to slide forward, but that probably got cut for budget reasons, and they figured, well, it needs to be this length for the tank mode, so we have to leave it like that. So I think that's what it is, but yeah. I have no doubt that DNA Design's probably already working on an upgrade kit that will give us a cannon that will give us that kind of functionality. But yeah, the cannon, again, that's just a nitpick with the cannon, but otherwise, it looks like, looks like Megs' fusion cannon with a little bit of red up top. Anyway, moving down the body, see some nice detail. Those first images we saw of this figure, like the color on the legs, on the shins here, I was not a fan of, but in hand, it actually looks good. But his little toesies there. And you do kind of have like the gun grip kind of molding here on the sides. Of course, we have some little, you can kind of see the tank treads back here and a little bit here, just to give him some extra heel. And you got the Meg Booty. You see, very clean. He's just got the barrel there on his back. But you can see a very, very clean robot mode here. Now, articulation-wise, what have we got? I'm going to tell you. So the head is on a ball joint, but due to his bucket-headed nature, you don't get too much wiggly-waggly. Head can look up a little bit, down slightly. Head can do a full 360. Arms can do a full 360. Can move in and out. You do have a butterfly joint in here, so the shoulders can move forward and back. You got bicep rotation. You have a bit over 90 degrees of bend there at the elbow. You got wrist rotation. You do have some posable fingies here. The index finger is on two joints here, and the other three fingers are on two joints as well. You do have waist rotation. The legs can move forward that far. You can do the big boot. Back that far. Outward. Pretty much full splits. Got thigh rotation. slightly over 90 degrees of bend there at the knee. As far as the feet, they can move up. They can't move down, but the toe can move down if you needed to. And you do have ankle tiltage. Now, as far as accessories go, the fusion cannon and the back barrel here are packed separately, but we've seen those already. We know where they go. We also get a little Megs in gun mode here, so he can hold himself. Sure. And we also get his lightsaber with that blade there, done in a nice metallic color. You got that purple there for the hilt. And that is everything you get with Megs. Now, as far as storage goes, the gun mode Megs has a little tab slot right there. You just tab that in, and the lightsaber, well, just plug into his back there. And there you have your storage. Hooray for storage. And, of course, he can wield the weapon, so he can pew-pew, stab-stab, pew-pew, poke-poke, and all of that good stuff. And some of the weapons are Blush compatible. Yes, they are Blush compatible. Now, the one thing you want to be Blush compatible isn't Blush compatible. The fusion cannon, as you can see in here, like the post, I mean the port rather, is quite sunken in, so this does not reach. So you can't plug a Blush in here. That would be ideal. That would look awesome. You can't do it. This one still, it doesn't work because that's still too wide. The very end of it you could plug in, but that's not very, that's not as dramatic as I would like. You want the big Blush. You want all this going on. That's really, that for me anyway, that's ideal. But at least the gun mode Megs, this is Blush compatible. You can plug it in like so. You can drop it like that. That's not a thing that can happen, but we don't want that to happen. There we go. But we can do a big old mega Blush. Hey, it's something. So there you have that. And now for comparison. Here he is with Eartherized Megs. You can see how they look together. And here he is with the New Age Romulus, which was supposed to be, a Studio Series Megatron. And nothing against this figure. It's a good figure, a solid figure. It's a good chunk-scaled Megatron, but unfortunately it just didn't go with what people wanted it to go with. And here he is with G1 Megatron, because precious, oh so precious. And here he is with Soundwave and Screamer. So you can see how they look together. Here he is with his future self, with Galvatron. And last but not least, here he is with 86 Optimus Prime. So you can see how they look together. And this looks good. This looks right. At least to me anyway, but there you go. So that is basically it for the robot mode, and I personally think it looks great, but let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to remove the fusion cannon, remove the cannon on his back there, put that off to the side, and now we shall commence. So the first thing you want to do is you want to ball up his fists here. And that's how you want that looking, with the fingers on the inside of the thumb. We're going to open up the forearm here. Open up those two panels, take the hand, flip it in. Then we're going to take this assembly here, and we're going to rotate it 180, and then close this back up. And then we're going to take the forearm and rotate it in. And second verse, just like the first. And once that is done, we're going to undo his shoulders. So you basically want to bring the shoulders forward and then just bring them out at an angle like that. That disengages that, and you got to do the same thing here. So just bring that forward and then just swing that out. So you got it looking like that. And then you're going to open up the back and then swing this assembly out. Once you've done that, you want to undo his belly piece. And the easiest way to do that is to just bring the chest piece down. That'll kind of unclip it for you. So bring that down and then bring the chest piece down. Take his head and rotate it in. Once that's done, you want to bring the chest piece out on this hinge. Bring that up. Tab slot connection right there. So just tab that in. And you have another panel right in here that you want to flip out, and that will just snap into place. So you got it looking like that. So now you want to take the lower body, you want to rotate it 180. You want to take these side skirts here, bring them up, and then rotate them forward. You want to bring the legs up, and there's a tab that will go into a slot right up here. So just bring that up and tab that in, bring that up, and get that tabbed in like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this entire assembly here, we're going to rock this back, bring it up and over, and there's a little tab right there. It's going to go into the slot right there. Just bring that up and over, and make sure those hinges are in the right place, and then just bring that down, and get that seated in place, like that, and you want everything oriented just like that. So now for the arms, we're going to take this whole assembly, we're going to rotate this 180, and then we're going to take the arms and rotate them forward. So now we're going to take all these hinges here, and we're going to collapse all of this in. Collapse all this in, and these two sections will tab together. So get everything lined up, and get everything nice and squozen. So you got those hinges looking like that. So now it's time for the legular region, and this is my favorite part of the transformation. So we're going to take the feet, just rock this up. We're going to untab this whole front shin section, bring that up, and we're going to swing this out. You're going to take this bit here, you want to untab it, and bring that down. And now you can unfold all of this. And now you're going to open up this panel here, and then flip out this section, close that back up. Then you want to open up this panel here. This one holds together quite well. There we go. Open up this panel and swing this bit out, and then close that back up, and then you want to take the central section and bring this up, and that will fill that in like that. And second verse, guess what? Just like the first. And once you have both sides done, it's just a case of bringing these around. And you have multiple connection points here. So you're going to have this tab going into this slot here. You have this tab going into this slot here. You have a little post going into this port right here. And you have a little tab right there. It's going to go into this notch right here. Now, once you get this back tab into place, everything else will just kind of fall in place for you. So once you have that back tab in place, everything else should just drop right in. Just make sure the hinges are where they need to be. There you go. And everything just drops right in. Same thing on the other side. Just bring that forward. Again, once you get that back tab into place, everything else will just kind of drop into place for you. Like that. And there you have that all done. So now for the rest of the legs, we need to just bring this down on this hinge, and then we're going to collapse it in. And what's going to happen is we have this notch right here. It's going to go on this little tab that's right in there. So you just want to take this and rock this in. You do have to raise this up a little bit, and that'll just seat itself in place. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And you really have to kind of do both of them at the same time. But not hard to do. Just take it, line it up, and then you just kind of push everything down, and that sits there like that. Once you have done that, you take the foot, you swing that around, a little tab slot connection that'll happen right there. So that just tabs in. Bring that foot the rest of the way down, then take the toes, and just fold them underneath. And you got that done. Same thing on the other side. Rotate, bring down, tab in. There is also a little tab slot connection right here for this, but that's not a crucial point, so you don't really have to worry about whether or not that's tabbed in or not. But there you go, and that's the back all done, and I love how all of that comes together. And the last thing to do is finish off the turret. So you want to bring in the fusion cannon. This section here is going to shift forward on a double hinge, like that, and then you want to take this barrel here, it will plug in to the fusion cannon, like that, and this will sit over this hinged section here, and then you have tab slot connections on either side, so just line that up, tab that in, get it all nice and squozen, And so there you go. There you have Megatron in his alt mode. You got a good spin out of him too. But there he is in his alt mode. And yes, it's a tank. I know he did not transform into a tank in the movie, but it is what it is. The rules are what they are. You know, I personally don't care one bit. But hey, you feel how you feel. But, you know, in my opinion, it's a pretty solid little tank mode here. But let's get in close so we can take a look at the details. We got some new details here that are revealed. When we transform him. Got the big old turret there. Now the turret, the turret's alright. The main body of the tank I think looks really good. The turret, it's alright. But for the most part, I think it turned out pretty well. Got those treads done in a dark gray. You got some little panel lining here, some riveting action throughout. There you have the back. And again, I love how the legs transform to make all of this and how all this comes together. I think it's some good engineering going on here. All in all. Yeah, there is the top. There is the bottom. He does have little rolling wheels. Two right here and just one central one here. And he can roll, as rolling things should. Hooray for rolling. And for comparison, here he is with Earthrise Megs. And Earthrise Megs does have the better tank mode, although I'm not a fan of his feet just hanging out the back, but he does have the better looking tank mode here. Now bear in mind that the 86 Megs is having to adhere to, you know, a more animation accurate robot mode, so they had to work with what they had to work with. The Earthrise Megs did not have to do that, which is why they can make the tank mode look better. They didn't have to adhere to any animation models here, so in both respects, you know, they worked with what they had to work with, and I think they made it work. So there's that. And here he is with 86 Prime. So you can see how they look together, so there you go. Now as far as articulation in tank mode, the turret can rotate. It rotates at kind of a weird axis there, but it can rotate, do a full 360. It can move up a little bit, but then you start to kind of undo stuff here, but you can get a little bit of upward movement, and that's pretty much all you get as far as movement goes. You can, of course, store the accessories. As far as the little Megs goes, it just plugs right up top. As far as lightsaber, you can plug it up top if you want to. You can have it facing back or facing forward. You can kind of do what you want there, but per the instructions, they want you to plug it into the sides here and have it stored like that. Hooray for storage. And we can do some better blushing here because this barrel is blush compatible, so we could plug one there. Hey, we could plug one in here too. Do some double blushing. We can have that going on. Hey, some more blushing to be had in tank mode. So there you go. So there you have Megatron, and yeah, nicely done figure in my opinion. The robot mode I think looks fantastic. The fusion cannon can be a little bit better, but that's just a nitpick. The tank mode for the most part looks good. Like the main body of the tank I think looks really good, and I love the way all that comes together. The turret, turret could be better, but for the most part it's a pretty solid tank mode. And again, I know people are going to have their feelings about this figure because, you know, he turns into a tank, not a gun. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, again, it doesn't bother me one bit. At this point, Megatron's been a tank way longer than he's been a gun. At this point, the gun mode is the exception, really. His alt mode was never a deterrent for me. I was always going to pick this up when it was announced, regardless of what he transformed into. In my opinion, I think this is the best mainline G1 Megs that we've ever gotten. And I personally am super happy with them. But again, that's just my opinion, to each their own. So there you go. Now I picked this up from BigBadToyStore.com. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below so you can check that out. You can also check out the Studio Series playlist for any reviews you may have missed. Also linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love, Peace, Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Transformers of Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face. Excuse me, Lord. Lord Megatron, but, I have some ideas that I think will help us win the day. Your plans never work, Starscream. But why would you say that? Because you're an idiot, Starscream. You know what? That's hurtful. You're just mean, you know that? Do you ever think about my feelings when you say things like that? Do you ever think about my feelings when you're trying to kill me? Yes? Yeah, sure. Well, your plans never work either. What? Love you, bye!